Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?
Good morning, Nigeria. It's another beautiful Tuesday, and you're tuned to the #1 breakfast show in Nigeria. And I'm talking about Ways Breakfast, hashtag What Are You Saying? My name is Oluchi Omenka, and I'm delighted, as usual, to be your host for today. Of course, I'm not here alone. I will be joined by the Lady Vibe. So whether you're on your way to work, you're getting the kids ready for school, or you're just enjoying this celebratory moment that we're in currently in our country and the world generally, ensure that you stick with us till the very end. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV so you never get to miss any of our shows. Let's get to meet the Lady Vibe. Hi, girl.
Ashley.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Please
How
tell
are
me.
you?
I want you to take a deep breath with me together. Are you ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Now breathe out. How does it feel? I don't know if you can see the air around you. Everywhere is just awesome. And I've been feeling a whole lot of things lately. Apart
Right.
from the fact that my health dealt with me last week and, for some time now. I'm just glad that we are in that time of the year where we get to reflect, where we're filled with gratitude, where we
Right.
get to relate more with loved ones, where we get to look through our checklist and see everything that we've done for the year, the things that we're not able to do. And it's just like, wow, another year is gone. 2025 is around the corner.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I feel emotional. I feel grateful. I feel a lot of things together. Do you understand? I cannot even use one word to describe it. But I'm glad to be back on set. Of course, you know that we have gist for you every day, so we're here. So tell me, guys, beauty. What's been popping in your life?
Nothing has been popping in my life.
The way you're looking like this.
I don't understand.
You always really like to hide gist from us. I don't know why. It's only on Gossip Gala you come and giving them the...
That is why it is
the
Gossip Gala.
So breakfast don't deserve the juice?
Not really, not like that. So there's really nothing to talk about. I mean, yesterday evening, I wasn't really feeling my best because So my sister came over, my younger sister came over, and in short, she disturbed me a bit. I had to, there was a bit of, let's go to the supermarket to get her a few things. So I got chocolates for her and all of that. So now the problem, I mean, the reason why I'm highlighting this was because that was the source of my problem yesterday. So I joined her and I took like a few bucks and all of that. Then when I was about to sleep, that's when it just came on me that, Auntie, you're not supposed to be taking chocolates. I was having serious stomach ache.
Take chocolate. Are you allergic to
So
it?
not really, but like there are times for it. I'm not. So and I think I do too much of it as well.
Okay.
So I would have just probably taken like a bite or something, and I'll be okay. I'm not really like a chocolate person.
They should never
So,
tell me not to
yeah.
take chocolate. I will not follow that
If it's
advice.
cake, it's a different thing. But like chocolate, you don't know what and what I've been mixed to it.
Yeah.
If it's cake now, I have my preference and all. I bake cake, so I know the kind of, the ones to eat and the ones to stay away from. You feel me? So, but for chocolate, it was a lot. Like it really hit me so bad yesterday. But I just thank God that I woke up this morning and I'm stronger.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you look forward to the holidays?
Scale of 1 to 10. I would say 8.
Yeah, so plans.
I mean, it's more of work actually because I'm right. Yeah, work. Because everybody's going to the club. I'm a hype baby, so I'm supposed to be like hyping people that we getting all the bottles.
Okay.
So it's more about work for me because I mean, all right, I'm already speaking to a few persons. I'm not one to want to rest. I am one to make
Always
the bag.
active.
That's the problem. So that's why I always tell people that like all my jobs, I work at jobs where I am actually working and resting at the same time. I love to do certain things. I love hyping people. Like, they get that. Come on, they get that. Hey,
You actually have it in you.
Exactly. So it's just something that I would consider that me playing, but at the same time working. So that's literally like how I see it. So
I
looking
love
forward
that.
to it. I mean,
All right, thank you very much for that. Before we go straight to the hot topic for today, our hot topic is quite sensitive. Though we're in celebratory mood and everything, but we need to address certain social issues and concerns in our society. So we need you to be very much involved and part of this conversation. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll look to the headlines across the Nigerian newspaper and the New York Times. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Another is here. God's agenda for 2024 is wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing that makes things work. Everybody needs the oil of wisdom. The challenges are changing dimensions. So the wisdom to deal with them must keep changing dimensions. It's time to get wiser.
God terminated 8 years barrenness in this exalted altar.
I get back to the set of twin baby boys at 50 years after 17 and a half years.
Lord, I need the baptism of this ever-winning wisdom. Shiloh 2024 is December 10 to 15. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
All right, thank you for staying with us. Our main topic for today is the alarming rise of drug use and vaping among young people. But before that, let's look through the headlines across the Nigerian newspaper. I have The Punch and the New York Times. I'll start with The Punch. The major headline reads, "No vacancy comments. ACF, Atiku and others lampoon presidency over 2027 poll. Nigerians can vote you out in 2027. Atiku wants presidency. Akume can't decide who will contest poll, says PDP. Nigeria's debt profile burden for current and next generation, says Obasanjo. Tax reform, National Assembly, caucus meetings delay talks with AGF. Keyamo FCCPC defer on Air Peace probe. 3,270 Nigerians gained American citizenship via military service. Sanwo-Olu opens Ifako Road Bridge. Yuletide, Southeast, South-South airfares jumped to 287,800 naira. Defamation, Farotimi gets 50 million naira bill to submit passport. And the last story says Ajayi files suit to stop Ayedatiwa as Ondo State governor. The Punch is really filled with a lot of stories. Almost everything is getting my attention. But let me start with the very first interesting one here, because it's just sequel to the conversation we had yesterday about the lawyer and human rights activist who was taken to court on the claims of defamation. Now
And
he has
cybercrime.
gotten cybercrime,
Yeah.
I wonder the cybercrime there, though. But let's leave out the big grammar. I think one thing in Nigeria is don't get into trouble with the law.
Nah, don't.
Because they're going to give you a lot of counts.
Not it's not about the law. It's about the people.
People.
So
that you're
don't
getting into.
don't get in trouble with people that is probably of high class or people
would
that are
come
above
for
the
you.
law. Let's use that.
All right, so let me give you the full details on the bail story. The Federal High Court in Ado-Ekiti on Monday granted bail to lawyer and activist Dele Farotimi in the suit filed by the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Egbetokun, against him over alleged cybercrime.
Right.
The IGP had on Friday filed 12 counts bordering on cybercrime against Farotimi based on an interview granted over the defendant's book, Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System, as it concerns the founder of Afe Babalola University, Ado-Ekiti, Are Afe Babalola, and the case was heard by Justice Babs Q. Waymo. A lot of details on the Punch website. You could go ahead and read it, but he's screaming here that he's going to be granted bail of 50 million. Now,
50 million,
if
yes.
he's going to be granted or he has been granted,
I think he has now.
Oh, so that means he's freed now.
Yeah, I think he
50
has.
million naira. Wow. You know what this means? It then shows that I don't know. I'm trying to be very careful because this case is a very, very sensitive one, and everybody's trying to be careful so you don't get on
So that
the
you
wrong
too, they will
foot.
not give you your own.
The wrong foot of anyone. But if he was the one who paid the bill, that means it's almost like surrendering to the fact that, okay, probably I did defame you in that sense. I don't know if you get what I'm trying
No,
to
it's
say.
for you not to be in prison.
For too long.
Yes.
So that means you're still going
That's
to
what bail is
revisit
about, yes.
50 million naira to still revisit a case.
Oga, Auntie, the
That's
truth
a whole
is,
lot of money.
I mean, for you to be granted bail, honestly speaking, I really don't know why we are still paying money. I think probably that's the part that probably was not taught in school or something. Because, I mean, they say that bail is free and all of this. It probably is just in the police station. But once it is now, to the courts, whatever, you have to pay money for you to be free, right?
So the bill goes to the court or the police station, and not to the individual that you have offended.
Nah, it's I
She's a lawyer in the house, so that's how I have to ask her all the questions.
Don't do that. But I think it's like to the court and probably the police and whatever. But I mean, he has to like pay 50 million, not because of he's saying that what I've been stated done is wrong or anything. Nah, it's just for him to leave the spear.
But
if not,
the
they
case will
won't
still
allow
be
him.
revisited.
Yes,
and
not
they will
even.
get to the...
I think that's we are adjourned for the 25th of January next year.
No, that's good. At least he has time to spend with his family this Yuletide season. Now, talking about the Yuletide season, this one is going to shock you. It says Southeast and South-South airfares jumped to 287,800 naira. And this is so ridiculous because I was having a conversation with someone yesterday and she said that she had booked her flight ticket to go to the East sometime around last month and it was around 100,000 plus thereabout, and now we're seeing 200 plus. It's almost looking like the Yuletide season comes with a lot of burden. That's why in January, people always go through this financial turbulence because they've already put a lot of money into spending and doing a lot of things. So if you're considering flights to any of the states in Abia, Imo, Ebonyi, and the South-South, you're looking at a whole lot of money. All right, so I think that's basically everything that catches my interest on the Punch newspaper. Let's fly to the New York Times.
All right, so there's really nothing going on here, for real.
No Donald Trump this time around.
Nah, I'm not even going to take Donald Trump. There is Donald Trump stuff here.
Lips since when?
That's the thing. So I want to take something different, which is about the China people, right? And let me just quickly read out the headlines here.
Right.
So on the right side, we have here Ad Arsad toppled by Syrian rebels after 13-year war. By the left side of the newspaper, we have test of loyalty for applicants to Trump jobs. You know, when you see Trump jobs, you go not say anything anybody that is speaking in is somebody that is loyal to him instead of putting in people that is competent or people that are good for the job. But moving away from that, we have that by the left side of next to that, right? We have fighting in Ukraine cause Kremlin and Syria. Beneath that, flying at extremes may hurt Navy plots brains. Next to that, which is the last headline on the newspaper, we have a criminal with ties to China and political sway in New York. And that's really what I want to talk about. So we have here John, a 69-year-old from Brooklyn, was invited to an important political meeting in China. The meeting focused on spreading China's influence globally. At the same time, John is a well-known figure in New York Chinese American communities and local politics. Now, John has strong connection to both China's government and New York politics. This makes him a unique and powerful link between the two countries. His influence in both areas could have an impact on how decisions are made. Now, they are worried that John's ties to China government would affect his work in the United States. People have connected that to the foreign government. Like China might use leaders like John to influence local politics in their favor. And I think I just want to, talk a bit about the country China. I feel like China is one of those countries that, regardless of whatever they are facing, they just want to be seen at that forefront. And I feel like they really have this strong competition. I feel like there's a competition between them and Americans, probably not really visible, right? Because I know it has always been on the news about when you're talking about AI now, technologies and all of those things, there's always, there's not how you're talking about Americans, they're also bringing China into the book, and they have really tried. See, this guy now is working for like the Americans, right, when it comes to policies and all of these things. But somehow they have also made him also be like a link to China as well, so that whatever whatever they're working on in America is also still communicated to China as well, so that they also see what Americans are working on and they also want to work better. I think there was also a time where they were talking about animations and all of this, tools that would help with wars and all. And America already got it right, even down to their soldiers as well. And they're like, okay, we need people that will come and teach our soldiers how to train them more. Like when the China's heard of that, they also went to go and start looking for people that would also train their soldiers. So I see intentionality in their growth. So whenever if you check when we're watching like their Facebook or all of these things, you'll see that most of the things that they post are their things that they have done.
That China TikTok is a different
word entirely, honestly speaking. It's always technology, it's not this our beautiful country.
But competition is a good way to
grow.
Discover growth.
Yes. Honestly speaking,
when you see China too, have you heard of world powers? So everybody's trying
to be there. And honestly, I'll give it to China, because for every time that you when you see their work, you know that there's intentionality, there's speaking. Yeah, and I really love it for them, honestly.
Interesting.
I just hope that our country would see this.
Very soon, 2025.
Not be small, 2025.
Should be
2027. Not see. You know when you're talking about that whole 2027 or whatever. Now they will not start doing their campaign. They will not start helping those local communities that they are going to put on their manifestos. But until 2027, you will not see everybody with their manifestos carrying their banner up and down. They will not start the work now. These are part of the issues in this country.
That they will do at this period
is
to rather talk against the present administration.
And that is not what they are supposed to be doing.
Energy on talking about it.
If
you're not supposed to do
if you work for the Americans, doesn't mean it's going to work here in Nigeria. People that need work, we still keep complaining about insecurity. We complain about so many things in this country. It looks like nothing is working. Those are the things I feel like they should put their energy on. Let we, the people, now decide that, we still want Tinubu because he has been doing whatever. Or we want these people that look at their work, look at their efforts. You feel me?
Yeah,
they need to start working. They should not sit down and then 2027 we now see everybody with banner and printed uniforms and I beg.
I get it, but the 2027 election is still a bit far away from us, even though we know that time just comes at us. But let's concentrate on this current administration and make certain things work that has not been working. All right, this is where we draw the curtains for the headline stories, and we'll kick off with the hot topic for today. We want to address a prevalent social concern amongst young people. You already know Ways Breakfast is tailored for young people, so expect us to talk about things that concerns young people. So we'll take a short break, and when we return, we need you to be part of this conversation. So please stay with us. Be right back.
Another is here. God's agenda for 2024 is wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing that makes things work. Everybody needs the oil of wisdom. The challenges are changing dimensions. So the wisdom to deal with them must keep changing dimensions. It's time to get wiser.
God terminated 8 years barrenness in this exalted altar.
I get back to the set of twin baby boys at 50 years after 17 and a half years.
Lord, I need the baptism of this ever-winning wisdom. Shiloh 2024 is December 10 to 15. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Today we're discussing the prevalent use of vaping and drug abuse amongst young people. Drug abuse and vaping have become a growing concern in modern society, particularly among young people. What was once seen as a recreational experiment has now spiraled into a full-blown health crisis. The allure of vaping, marketed as a trendy and safer alternative to smoking, has created a dangerous entry point for nicotine addiction among teenagers. Similarly, drug abuse continues to plague communities, with youth often falling victim to peer pressure, stress, or the need to escape harsh realities. The glamorization of this habit through social media and pop culture only worsens the situation, normalizing harmful behavior, and the consequences are staggering: poor academic performance, strained family relationship, deteriorating mental health, and an increased risk of chronic diseases. Despite efforts by government and organizations to combat these issues, the problem persists, raising critical questions about prevention, regulation, and youth empowerment. What drives young people to such destructive habits, and what role can society play in reversing this trend? And this is the pressing issue that we'll explore on today's show: the high risk, the alarming risk of drug use and vaping amongst young people. You know what? Can I just give you this to start the conversation? One thing that I have been accused of as a young, I won't call myself Gen Z, but I'm a very young girl in her 20s. And one thing people would really accuse me of very well is that I'm naive. I could, play naive sometimes. And it's not because I am exactly so naive. I will blame it on my conservative background and how I grew up. So you're really at home if what you're focusing on is not your books and things that are important.
Right.
Sometimes, if you're not staying, thank God I grew up in, not grew up, thank God I went to school hostel. Like, I didn't come from home. Else I'll probably just be outside of this world and not really know what's going on. So I would blame my naivety on the conservative background that I grew up in. And why did I say this? Because this word vaping is something I did not know until very recently.
Oh, wow.
It's shocking, right? And we're here discussing about the alarming use of drug use and vaping. So the introduction started with saying that vaping, let's start with vaping before we go to drug use, right? Vaping was initially meant to be a recreational activity, right? Like a substitute for smoking
yes.
and drug use, because you still want, people to be the life of the party. You still want something spicy and fun in every party and get together. So the introduction of vaping came through. That's where, in fact, in many movies, I don't know if you've seen it very recently, you see people vaping, even for weddings, wedding reception. Very, very shockingly. There's this new shisha. There's this new way people do wedding reception now, where they call, you see people with masks and everything, they're holding lights, and the bride and the groom are vaping.
I mean,
all right, that's why they used to send parents home for wedding reception, because wedding reception has changed from what we used to know it before, from normal game, tell me who is your wife, to a lot of things now. And we've seen this growing trend. So let's discuss it. What do you think, why do you think this is so prevalent amongst young people now?
So I think I think before we start with curiosity. Oh, what's this? Let's see how it goes. What's it about? You know, there's just that. I mean, for all the teenagers that probably grew up in Lagos or maybe in Nigeria as a whole, you will know that when you see something, I feel like it's a teenager thing. When you see something that you see people using, there's always this mindset of, oh, how is it going to be like? What's it going to be testing like? How's it going to be? What would happen when I take it and all of that? And that's where it starts from too. Oh, I like it. Oh, it's nice. Then peer pressure comes in. What do you think? My friend is taking it. Why will I not take it as well, right? Then it just moves on like that, And then we're talking about the fact that, you know, in any space you are in now, there are not different types of it. Yeah. There are different styles.
It even comes with fragrances. So there's the strawberry kind.
Yes. So there are different flavors to it, and you know, many people are not taking it now because there's also, you know, the world is evolving, technology has come into it. So there's also this, oh, let's make it to look this way. Let's make it to look this style. I remember having a conversation with someone. I mean, she vapes a lot too, and I remember her saying that, oh, one of the reasons why she's always getting this thing, she gets it in flavors actually, like different flavors.
Strawberry.
Yeah, and again, the way they make it look like this one is this shape, this one is this shape. So she's always like, oh, I'm always so curious to know how it's going to be like when I put it in my mouth. How is it? Auntie, it's not the same thing you've been taking since how many years now? Exactly. So there's always this curiosity to it. Now, why do people even do all of these things? Apart from peer pressure, there's also this, oh, you feel alone. I mean, I think that's where drugs now comes in as well. Yeah, because there's always this, drugs is the only thing that understands me. If I don't take this thing, I will not feel okay. Until this girl I'm talking about that is into this vaping and all of that, most of the time she's not feeling okay. You are hot, you are whatever, you're not comfortable, like health-wise now, but you still vape, you still want to smoke, you still want to take drugs. I mean, what
exactly are you looking for?
I mean, what exactly are you looking for?
And one thing with addiction is that once you get into it, it's very difficult to come out. Even people that are into rehab and psychiatry, they know the constant effort that they put to get people to be clean. You know, so let's talk about, you know, I want us to really focus on solutions, even though we know that it's a long shot talking about solutions to an issue that is so prevalent, but we can only try, right? And that's why media houses and the media, which is a great influence in today's society, should help push these things out. So for young people and the young ones who are at risk of falling into this, the first thing is, I think we should start addressing curiosity for people. Curiosity also means we should make people not to be too naive, because sometimes I look at myself and I wonder that if I had fallen into wrong hands, you know, some people can always thank God for good parenting, good home training and all. But you know that sometimes naivety is not really the answer to not, you know, fall into, you know, wrong conduct and all. Because it could just be that gullibility that somebody is looking for and you are vulnerable and then you are into this different wrong conduct. So first of all is people have to be aware. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with making your 13, 14-year-old, even 12.
About it.
At this point, I think 9. I mean, there was this show that we had on prime time where they were discussing puberty and how it started early. It's starting early for some very young people. It's to shock you that girls that are 9-year-old are already having their periods. So that means you can have this kind of difficult conversation even with a 9-year-old, 10-year-old. You shouldn't wait until they are teenagers. They are 13, so reaching your big 16. Then we'll talk the difficult things like sex, like drugs, like, you know, your sexuality and all of that. I think it should start from 9. 9 is not bad. 10. Do you understand? Yeah. Because, again, the internet is very accessible and all of these young ones have access to hear of these things, to see these things and want to try them. So I like that you mentioned curiosity. Parents should be able to be the first first call to action when it comes to satisfying your children's curiosity. Let them get to know certain things from you first. Let them get to understand certain terms for you first. And I would say that African parents fall trap into these things.
Yeah, I feel like probably because most of them don't even know these things. Let's be for real.
Are you serious about that?
Yes, I am. Some parents don't know most of these things. And that's because they are not very involved in, like, the children, right? Let me give instances. For example, I mean, let's just say that you know the normal stuff, which is, oh, when your child is a certain age, they're supposed to be menstruating. Those are normal stuff, right? But I'm very sure that there are some parents that don't know what vape is about. They've probably not seen it before. How do you not want to tell your teenager? And that's why you will not hear the case of, I mean, we both will agree that when we are a certain age, we believe that we know more than our parents. And that's because of the kind of things that we've seen. And when we ask our mom, oh, Mama, have you seen this thing? And she's like, what's that? Bruh, that means you don't know it.
And they quickly dismiss you. Which is a very, very sad thing. Children don't like to be dismissed. They like to be given attention. So if you're quickly dismissing every of my conversation that is looking difficult just because you don't want me to sound corrupt, I'm going to do it behind your back.
That's what it is.
I'm going to do it when you do not know. So going back to what I was saying, we need parents and guardians or anyone even with the responsibility of training young adults, which can even very surprisingly be young adults. There are some young adults that they grew up too quickly and they're the ones standing in as parents for someone who is 11. They could probably be 18, 19. And sometimes I'm wondering that is a whole lot of growing up at that kind of age. Thank God I did not grow up at that age, 18, 19. Please, I still want to be a very sweet baby girl that is, you know, pampered. So the thing is, I need parents to be much more, be curious as well. And don't be quick to shut children up. There's a lot of parenting in these days that people need to start getting right. And I know that in our generation, that, you know, this generation now, even though it's been questioned and there are lots of side eyes and rolling of eyes, if our own parents that were still nice could have raised us like this and we're still having questions, we now, what kind of children are we going to raise? But I really believe that we'll do good as well in our generation. So parents should learn to address their children's curiosity and not just dismiss things. When a child comes to tell you that, mommy, somebody showed me, let's say, condom now in school, you just say, and you looked at it.
Who is that? Did you report?
Did you report? Do you know that you use hair fire you're going to like this? You know, those kind of things will make them say, I can't talk to my mom about things like this. So
the one is so extra.
Have you seen some things on social media where some teenagers will say they cannot watch certain scenes with their parents at home?
You can imagine.
Because they're saying, this is what you normally watch. And everybody is just being very careful. I get the respect and the, well, how will I put it? You should be sanctimonious in that sense. But you should also be very comfortable to have this kind of difficult questions with this parent. And parents should also, I mean, it would take a lot though, because me, I know myself. Once I'm talking to somebody and you're already giving me off, I'm never going to revisit that issue with you again. And guess what happens? They will get to get the answer from outside.
Definitely, they will.
From outside. And they will, in fact, those ones will be more eager to give them the real paragraphs, the details of those answers that you have been avoiding, you know, to give them. So let's talk about the misconceptions about vaping. People say it's a safer alternative to smoking. People say it's just, you can't have a boring party. What do you think about Nigerian parties? Let's even start from there. As somebody who is an outgoing person, I like that I'm having this conversation with you because you are more outgoing in that sense. I mean, compared to the rest of us on this table, some of them are not here, but you get what I'm saying. What do you think about Nigerian parties? And do you think that we should start having some regulation to it? Firstly, we saw that in recent time, there was regulation to spraying of money. Right. When Bobrisky was arrested.
Yes.
And
that's because it's in the Constitution.
In the Constitution, okay. So tell me some other things that you think needs to be regulated in Nigerian parties.
The truth is, you first of all cannot throw a party that doesn't have anything to do with the economy or the country or the Constitution. And imagine you get drink, for example, and somebody is not coming to tell you, oh, this kind of drink, you're not supposed to be drinking it in a party. Like, what I'm trying to say is, nobody can give you
so you're saying that regulations can't work in parties?
It can't really work, except if it's something that is, I mean, let me give this perfect example, right? The reason why the whole Naira thing was, I mean, anybody caught spraying and all of that would actually be jailed 6 months or you pay fine and all of this thing. That's because it's in the Constitution, and that's against, you know, the country. It means you are, if you march or if you tear, if you do anything with the Naira, it means you don't like your country. You are insulting the nation and all of this. Exactly. So that one has now a good. We already have that good understanding and all of that. But for drugs and all of those things, or medications and all, let's say medications, pardon me, vaping and all of those things.
Yeah.
The truth is, I would not say that they are not, the constitution is against them or anything. I mean, if you are taking certain kind of drugs, you'll be jailed and all of these things. If you catch you trafficking drugs and all of these things, of course you'll be caught and all of that. But who would now make sure that, you know, in your party, these things are not taking, you know, you're probably not taking drugs or anything. We don't have, I don't think there's any, I mean, we have like the NDA, we have like the NAFTAC and all of these things.
NDLEA.
Yeah, but will they come to your party? Will they be going to every party to go and be knowing?
And Nigerians, we know how to party.
Hey, so what I would say is, it takes us back to individuality now, right? Every individual should not know what they want and what they shouldn't. In my own party, more drugs would definitely not be allowed. Anybody can take shisha. I don't think I can hold anybody on that, because there are people that they consider, I mean, there's no party without smoking. There's no party without this. There's no party without that. So that's what they call the fun of the party. That's what makes the party to some persons. That's what makes the party. So, do you know that there are some people that will not go? There are some kind of people that will invite you for your party. You know, go, because you know the kind of things that you're going to see there.
It will be boring.
Exactly.
You see where the problem is?
So it takes us, because it's individual, like it's each and every one of us that actually makes up that party. So if we will have to start from ourselves, me now, I don't take drugs. Who they take drug, I don't even know, thank God. You understand? So trust me when I say that you cannot find those kind of things if I'm throwing a party. I don't know if you understand me. So imagine we have other persons. Exactly.
We have maybe just like 10.
Exactly. So you see now that...
funny quote people, somebody used to say that in this world, we have only 2 good people, me and one.
Me and one other person. No, for real.
But let me tell you the truth. As much as you have said this, when this Naira regulation thing taught me that there's nothing that cannot be regulated in this country once you make the right examples out of people. That's what I believe.
Do you know that
so
there's still spraying of money?
But you know that at a point, people were very keen on not falling trap into this. So there were different alternatives to spraying money.
Everybody started using dollars at some point.
Apart from dollars, some will just have the bundle,
then
they will have the and be spraying it. So somebody that was reprimanded for that bad conduct served as lesson. Do you understand? To make people now have some sort of regulations to how they spray money at Nigerian parties. So I think that if that could have happened, there's literally nothing in Nigerian parties that cannot be regulated. We know that it's a long shot, because how do you want to start?
Exactly.
But
It's the implementation that I'm actually thinking
Naira,
about. Because, I mean, the whole Naira thing, one of the reasons why at the end of the day, they found a corporate and they made that person like the scapegoat and all, was because there were evidences, like there were videos and all of these things. That's why I said that, I mean, people that take drugs and all, it is rare to see those kind of videos on social media. I'm not talking about the Westerners now. I mean, those ones is more like their normal thing. But here in Nigeria, everybody, I'm for real. Everybody knows that drugs is not allowed.
Like the drug, you know, when I'm looking at the subtle way people are also bringing this drug abuse and nicotine addiction without the one that they will hold you for legally. So there are videos online where you see people, it's just probably a random Instagram live, and then somebody could be vaping in the background. You see Nigerian movies and stories, different vlogs showing people that are doing that. So that's enough.
Okay, well, let's start with this. So, what exactly do you want them to regulate? Regulate the vaping?
Yes.
Regulate the smoking?
The vaping. I know that this is already becoming hot. So let's take this short break, and when we return, we'll look at whether this regulation can work in our country. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
Another is here. God's agenda for 2024 is wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing that makes things work. Everybody needs the oil of wisdom. The challenges are changing dimensions. So the wisdom to deal with them must keep changing dimension. It's time to get wiser.
God terminated 8 years barrenness in this exalted altar.
I get back to the set of twin baby boys at 50 years after 17 and a half years.
Lord, I need a baptism of this ever-winning which Shiloh 2024 is December 10 to 15. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
Welcome back. We're still discussing a very sensitive topic, like many people will say, the high risk of vaping and drug abuse prevalent amongst young people today. And I was of the opinion that in our Nigerian parties where we find most of these crimes, because Richie is laughing at me behind the background, I was of the opinion that we could start regulating some things to get the, the preventions that we want. But she seems to be of another opinion rather, that regulations like that cannot just work. It cannot just come about.
No, let's be for real. Everybody already has the mentality that without these things, there's no party. I don't know if you understand.
Let's change our mentality of
even
what
in
party
clubs,
is.
let's even start with the clubs. That means, see, let's be for real. If you say that this vaping, smoking, and all of those things are taken out, it's more like that. I mean, there will be no business for the clubs then.
But in
do you know
Tanzania,
that people,
and I think in Sweden,
Mm.
Tanzania and Sweden, they've been able to successfully regulate some of all these things. So that means we have seen it happen in other countries where they are able to regulate these things. Regulation is, even though I'm saying it's going to be a long shot, it might not be an easy thing
I like
to
the
just
fact
do.
that you know that.
Yeah, because even when I'm trying to be optimistic, I put realism there too.
Right.
So as we're being optimistic and saying that this is how I want it to be at the end of the day, we know how it eventually span out. So regulation can actually happen. Parties can be regulated in Nigeria. And
I am not saying they cannot. Like, don't get it twisted. What I am saying is, even the people at the top, they are guilty of the same thing. You understand?
That's where our problem
Everybody considers
the people that
like,
we want
what is
to
a party without those things? Like, that is what they call the jaye. That is what they call the party. That's the fun. Anybody throwing a party right now, there is definitely a part of, okay, even down to alcohols. You feel me? Even down to, taking alcohols and all of this. Like, many people have this mentality of if there's no proper, like, it is not a proper party. If there's no alcohol, if there's no drugs, if there's no, a bit of smoking, probably shisha or anything. You feel me? I've seen people that they come to an event, right? And probably maybe there's no shisha or anything, and they probably ask for that and they don't have it. And they say, they did not bring any whatever smoking or anything there. And they try to bring out like their cigarette or anything to smoke. And they're telling them that, we don't allow smoking here. Probably because there are kids here or something. Yeah. You'll see them leave. They will leave.
They should leave.
And they should leave.
And they should
Why
leave.
did you invite them in the first place?
That's the thing. You, Seth, why are you inviting people in that circle that will not go with your reforms?
I mean, so if we are to do this whole regulating thing, if we have to start changing the mentality of people. People have to now start seeing the effects of these drugs, the effect of this whatever that, people take in. I think there was a video of one girl, from the Westerns, right? And this babe was crying. She used to vape at first. She's there with the whole, it's nice, my friends are doing it, let me do it as well. Now she has a bit, there's a hole or something and
in her heart.
Yeah. So it's just painful. And the fact now that it's just this small, simple thing that's giving you a very big health problem now. That's just like, it's killing. So imagine a lot of people are seeing that. And I don't think, apart from, I feel like here in Nigeria, it's just more on drugs, right? Where we just see, there are so many stories. I think there's this musician, I can't remember his name, that was also, on a podcast and we had conversations, and you hear him talk about all the things, all the damages that the drug has caused and all of these things. How he'll be on the street, people will see him working. I mean, look at him now trying to build up his career again, but how many people still listen to his song? You feel me? So it's only drugs people are aware of. And that's why even the constitution, there are
the
laws.
drugs you're talking of is like the really
Those
hard drugs.
Yes.
Not cigarettes, which is also as harmful.
Which is also as harmful.
It's
but
so
do
funny.
you know the interesting part? I think I had a conversation with someone earlier, late last year, right? We had a conversation, and this guy said, these people that come up with, smokers are liable to die young, that is because they want to sell, I mean, those things were brought up because they wanted to sell a particular product, not really because of smoking, according to this person. I didn't say this thing, guys. Now, this person went as far as giving us an example of somebody that is in his, I think the oldest man in his village or so, still smokes. In short, there was this book I read about the Japanese, and you know, Japanese are one of those persons, even the Chinas as well, they're one of those persons that they live very long. When they had an interview with one of the women there, I mean, she's very, very old, about 100, and they asked her, what are the things you're taking that made you live this long? One of the things that she mentioned was actually taking alcohol every morning. You can imagine that. But you know the problem of Nigerians, they do extra. That same book that recommended taking alcohol every morning also said that if you don't take alcohol from Monday till Saturday, then on Sunday when you want to take, don't go and take the ones you've not taken from Monday till Saturday, not take it on Sunday. So you put everything together. That's one of the problems that we have in this country. So it's not a bad thing to take a shot of alcohol, right? But it becomes a problem when somebody's taking one crate. That's the problem. That's the problem we have in this country.
And some will also be in the defense of the Westerners because their area is cold.
It's cold
there's
and
winter, so they need to warm up their bodies and all.
But,
my brother and sister, you know the Nigeria you are in.
It's already hot. Even hellfire, so they did not close it well. So the sun, no, let's not go there.
The truth is, as sensitive as topics like this can be, human beings know what is right for them. Even though there are regulations and there are policies and reforms, you know what is right for your health and what you should actually not give yourself into. Let's talk about social media celebrities and influencers.
Right.
I think that, you know, the word influencer or this new lifestyle of influencing should begin to become more responsible in tackling social issues. I'm saying this because we're also talking to ourselves.
Right.
We are in the media space, and we've heard that media is one of the 5 pillars of influence. So if we're talking of social media, if we're not just talking of the Vicky James, the Davido, the Whiskey, the Don Jazzies, we're talking of everybody that seems to have some sort of influence, actually on a very large scale. So how do you think they can help to start addressing social issues like this, even with their own parties?
Again, it takes us back to if we can change our mentality. The truth is, it's already a mindset.
So we should change our mentality
so we have
on
to,
the fact that
parties can actually happen without drugs.
Now we're saying the same thing. Now I think we will
Without
eventually come together. That's how we are.
We disagree
we'll go like
agree,
this,
don't
but
worry.
we'll still come.
So, you know, once we are able to change that, once everybody has that normal mentality of, a party can still hold without having all of these drugs and shisha and smoking and all of these things, then we can now start. And then if we are not able to also put out the effects, right? Because, you have to learn from other people's experience. It doesn't have to be your own experience.
Experience of their own health,
yes,
or maybe consequences and punishment that the government would met
that would also
because I think that one is stronger than health consequences these days.
No, let's be for real. See, not until I watched that video. So I'm really indifferent about a lot of things. Like, I care less, right? So when I see,
you can't care less.
No, let's be for real. In this part of the world,
in this part of the world, the career that you have chosen, you can't care less.
That's the problem. But
that's why we're having this conversation, because we actually care.
Yeah, of course. I know, I do understand you. I get it. Yeah, but somehow in this part of the world, there are some things that you try as much as possible to just stay away from, so that you don't be a problem for you.
Anyone.
But back on it, right? Now, not until I watched that video where, the babe was crying and all of these things, and In short, it got to me. I don't smoke. I don't do any of those things. But when I watched that video, in short, it just gave me another, reason why I should not even try it.
This
Exactly. So, putting the effect out there, the consequences and all of these things out there would also help. Now, the government aspect as well. Once the mentality is changed, of course, regulations will also be brought on board and all of that. Then strict ones, something that when we hear it, you will try as much as possible not to be a part of. So once those things are put on, I feel like, Nigeria will probably be a better
regulatory
place.
bodies in media, like, Archon, like some other things that help to regulate music videos and movies and all of that. But I don't know how it works exactly.
Right.
But I still wonder why we still see some of these things propagated in music videos, in movies, even in Nigeria.
Let me start with this. So I'm sorry to say this, but I really don't like those regulations being put in movies. Now, we are taking out the essence of movies in the first place. People don't get this thing. As a script writer, the reason why I'm writing stories, now most of these stories some might be fiction, some might be non-fiction, right? The reason why they are actually put in that movie, whatever, is to pass an information across. So I feel like most people are not getting that memo. We are not. Their movies are not out there because of the fun. Of course, it is. There's a fun part of it, but there's also an information part of it. Do you understand? That's the reason why till tomorrow I will still value King of Boys, because take it or leave it, there is 100% truth in that movie, and there's so many other movies like that. You feel me? So those movies are not put out there because they want to teach you how to smoke, or they want to tell you that, oh, this drug and this drug, when you mix it together, to take you to cloud 9. No, it's also telling you of the consequences at the end of the day. So you're not saying that, oh,
as a script writer, can you agree that it looks as if in, I won't say Nigerian movies now, because just recently I was telling someone that I'm going to give kudos to some of the Nigerian movies that we have. We're getting good with our movie production and everything.
Yeah.
But as a scriptwriter, you can agree with me that even though, yes, I want it to be part of the whole script and the experience of this real life experience, it takes an intelligence, a level of intelligence to be able to still make your audience realize that I'm showing this to you, but this is the consequence, rather than, do you understand what I'm trying to say? So instead of them hammering on the consequence as much in the whole script development, eventually it looks like they don't talk about it so much. It is just there. So do you get? So when teenagers and young people watch these things, there are some lessons they are getting, but there are some lessons they are still not getting again.
So that takes us back to not just the scriptwriter alone, because as a scriptwriter, I write based on what the owner of the movie wants me to write, how the person wants the movie to be shaped. Get to understand that this movie and all of that, they're also trying to make money. Do you understand? So everybody wants to propagate what they knew that people want to go and watch. Use Shantytown, for example. One of the reasons why that movie is everywhere, or that movie reigned at that time, was because everybody thought that it was Nancy Isime's breast that was actually shown in that. I don't know if you watched the trailer and all.
Costume.
Exactly. So everybody had that, oh God, is here a breast? Let's go and watch it. Let's go and watch it.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
but let's take it back to the whole drug whatever.
Yeah.
Now, like I said earlier, I really have an issue with, putting all of those regulations and all. I feel like even if you want to put on regulations, it should just be a lot calmer than saying that, oh, in movies, you should just take out the smoking part, take out the this part, then how do I pass information across?
What about in music videos?
In music videos, that can be worked on. If they want to do anything...
Your response is coming from a bias as one.
No, it is not. It is not. It is not. Music videos, what information is being passed across? Let's be for real. Even the music itself, when somebody is talking about for every time I hear that song, I have an issue with it. No, let's be for real. I have an issue with it, because tell me why I'm actually listening to that kind of song. Right? What do you expect how do you expect the music video to look like?
Have you not watched the music video?
I never watched it.
It's actually a music video, and I was shocked that somebody will pump money to do it.
So if they start putting regulations on those kind of things, I really don't have an issue with it. Because there's really no useful information or useful impact that I'm going to get from there.
All right,
so movies is quite different.
We're going to wrap up our show very quickly, and I want us to talk solutions and not just problems as we begin to wrap up. So there are certain teenagers and young adults that are falling prey into this addiction, and some of them, you know, it takes a whole lot to get them back on their feet. The introduction I read earlier said that some of the repercussions we see is in poor academic performances, strained relationship with family, emotional abuse, and all of that. So how do you think we can start addressing young adults and teenagers who are addicted to nicotine or nicotine? What's it called? I think it's nicotine.
Nicotine.
Yes, I don't know. It's because I'm in good girl.
So,
Just kidding.
so I think we should probably start from, you know, the family. Like I say, like family is a basic unit to like the society and all. So if we can probably change the mentality from the society, from the family, you know, give them reasons why they shouldn't take it, and how harmful it is, the consequences, and all of these things. Now, if you also get, I mean, agree with me. One of the reasons why, you know, teenagers or like young adults are also taking this these drugs now, you know, taking all of this smoke, apart from peer pressure, which is also part, because if you have gotten it right from the family, there would have been no need for peer pressure. You feel me? Yeah, so if we can start...
I like that.
Yeah, it's
right
the truth.
From the family,
yeah, there'll be no need for... Because
pressure.
everybody already knows that, oh, this is bad, this is harmful, so who will be pressuring who? You feel me? Yeah. So once you're able to get it right, you know, the train up, the children, intentional parenting is key. Once a parent gets it right, don't always, you know, shut them out. Hear all the rubbish that they have to say. So once you're able to, you listen to them, then you'll be able to now start giving them advice. Oh, do this. Oh, don't do this. Do like this. Don't do like this. Do you know that I think there was one story I heard about, you know, one mother telling like the bros, let me use that because, like, you know, in Nigeria, that's the word they call it, bros. The brother them, that beg, no send my pikin. May go buy stuff for you.
We're almost wrapping up.
So,
I'd like to give you this short story. My brother, when he was younger, went to a field to play ball. My mother has been warning him, don't be playing ball here. But you know, small boys now, they want to play. And then he came back, he was so scared, he was crying. I was like, what happened to you? He said that one uncle or bros, as you call it, told him to go and buy drugs. And I think he was reluctant at first, so the person maybe slapped him.
Oh,
I was not like drug, just cigarette.
Okay.
But somebody that's never held cigarette this time, it felt like a huge sin. Like, hey, God, though, what am I going to buy? And then I warned him that maybe they say, make you know they go there. So yes, the solutions to helping people who have this addiction starts from the family, the bedrock, the first level of influence that we have. And also when we come across people like this in our schools, in our society, we should be good examples. I think that's one thing that we did not mention.
Yeah.
If you're good examples yourself, it's, you know, the light will shine
to rub off other people
to
as well.
people.
Yeah.
All right, till tomorrow where we talk our mental health and physical health. We'll see you again by 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. This is Ways Breakfast. Stay sharp.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?